It is day 3 of Gen Con 2025, and this year we have convinced Dominic McDowall of Cubicle 7 Games to return from across the pond.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Always great to see you.
It is indeed, and thanks to Aer Lingus for a direct flight.
This video is sponsored by our good friends at Aer Lingus.
Much appreciated. Keep the flights going.
So, I'm going to talk with T.S. Luikart a little bit. We're going to talk about stuff that's brand new, that's just come out. But you and I, because you're super busy, we only have a few minutes.
We do, unfortunately.
We are going to talk about what's on the horizon.
Yes.
So, I know we've got the GM book for Old World.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's yesterday. I think that released. Was it? I know I lose track of days at Gen Con. Oh, brilliant! Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh no, I haven't shared news of it because the news just came out, or I just became aware
it was
of
at the end of July. So,
okay.
That's it's gone down fantastically well. I think which the player's guide did as well. We've been really, really just blown away by the response to it. It's I think you know how awful I am at blowing my own horn, but our stuff tends to go down very well.
Yes.
I think people seem to like what we do. But the response to the Old World has been just fantastic. It's been really good. So that seems to be resonating with people, and which is always great to see.
Of course.
Yeah.
Quick question, because with Old World coming out, I know there's Wifrup fans. Wifrup fans
they are fans
out there. They're our fans. We're going to the proms. There are a lot of Warhammer fans, who roleplay fans out there who are worried.
Yeah.
They're concerned.
Yeah.
It's like, no, Wifrup's going away.
Yeah.
So let's address that.
Oh, absolutely. And I completely understand where people are coming from with that. Because I think Wifrup, we're Wifrup fans. We absolutely love it. And it's, anything that could cause any problems for that, then I get it completely. But no, don't worry. Wifrup's not going anywhere. I love it so much. And, so do the team knows. It's a huge thing for us. So Wifrup has a really strong future,
yes,
and we will be making content for Wifrup until they stop us. So
right,
until they
Games
ask
Workshop
us
says
not
enough.
To. Yeah, now for as long as they'll have us. So don't worry about Wifrup, but its future is very safe, and more news on Wifrup soon. But we've had a load of recent releases for Wifrup as well. So the Dwarf Player's Guide, the Elf Player's Guide, or the High Elf Player's Guide.
Yes.
There's been the supporting the GM's books for them as well. So going into the realm of Cathik for the High Elves, and the Lords of Stone and Steel for the Dwarves. And we are currently working on Marienburg, which will be a big one for the long-term fans of Wifrup, who remember all of those amazing articles in White Dwarf and the fantastic book for first edition. So loads of Wifrup stuff coming. Don't worry, not going anywhere.
What's cooking with Imperium Maledictum?
Loads.
I'm amazed how that just rolled off my tongue.
That was good.
Yeah, no, it was.
That was really, that's more than I do. So the for Imperium Maledictum, we've got the Inquisition books that are going to be launching soon.
Okay.
So we've got the Player's Guide and the GM's Guide. And if you're familiar with the old D100 role-playing games from Black Industries, Dark Heresy and Rogue Trader. And
I'm very familiar with D100, not necessarily the Fantasy Flight stuff that they did, but.
So the format for that was each faction had its own game with a rule book.
Right.
What we decided to do with
Rogue
Imperium
Trader.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So with Imperium Maledictum, what we decided to do was a core rule book, and then we do faction expansions. Yeah. So you're not buying the rules again. It's just it's the same rule set, works for everything. So the Inquisition's the first of those factions that we're releasing, and that is at customs at the moment, I think.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for that to arrive, and then hard copies will be going out. So after that, we have the Macarian Requisition Guide, which is an equipment book, so loads of really cool equipment and services. Then we have an adventure book, Vol Adventures, which should be coming out to pre-order soon, a TM. That will be in the next month or so, I think. And
it's really too bad, just don't have anything going on here.
I know, it's And then the next faction set come to pre-order, which would be the Adeptus Mechanicus. And they've never had an in-depth kind of role-playing.
Really?
So they've been sort of featuring in the other ones, but not their own dedicated big expansion. So that's really exciting. I think they're really getting into what the servants of the Omnicia, what they're all about, and how some of those factions work how that faction works in the Macarian sector as well. So that's one of the other things with Imperium Maledictum. We've got such a huge area to
play in.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. The Macarian sector is, famously the 1,000 systems that were brought into the Imperium. So there's a huge number of plot threads and things going on in there that, as we explore more of the factions, we'll see from different angles. In the Inquisition, you play through a series of inquisitorial conclaves, which is really them getting together to talk about all the threats that are out there and which ones are the most ones to prioritize, who's going to be tackling them. So we'll explore from a different angle then with the Adeptus Mechanicus, how they are approaching the threats, and then securing their interests as well.
Sure, of course.
Making sure that it's working for them. So we're still working out what the faction after that will be for next year. But I want Imperial Knights. I think Imperial Knights.
Any new things from like 5e Vault?
Yeah, we're working on Uncharted Dungeons at the moment.
Okay.
So remember Uncharted Journeys that gave all of that wonderful narrative stuff to make Journeys really interesting and an exciting part of the game. We're doing that for Dungeons. So a huge load.
Thus the title.
Indeed. Yeah, the clue's in the name.
Right.
Yep. So that will be a load of great resource for GMs for their dungeons, for their dungeon adventures, and however you want to use it. There's things in there for like I think the way personally I'd use it, I'd have the big sort of event dungeon rooms and the overall plot that would be fixed for me.
And then you'd flesh it out.
Yeah, and you can use it for for what gets you between those points.
Sure, right.
So that you've got a lot of interesting, varied rooms and areas that you're going into. There's the roles that you do, the PCs take on in Uncharted Journeys. There's the dungeoneering versions of those.
Okay.
So everybody has something like they're responsible for managing during the process. Who's the breacher? Who's going to be the first through the next dungeon door?
Right.
And, take it all on the chin, who's going to be looking for traps? Yeah, so that's we're working on at the moment. It's going to be really cool. And Victoriana 5e, we've got the rule book for now, and we're just finishing up the layout on the Menagerie, which is the creature book. There's an adventure book as well. Then be next up. So Victoriana 5e is just a great opportunity for people who maybe don't want to learn a new rule set.
Right.
So they can experience this world.
They want to have a bit of a fantasy steampunk kind of game. It's going to be perfect for them to segue right into.
And it's a setting with how many years now? Oh gosh, like 22 years behind it. So it's a really nicely well-established, rich setting to use that in. And there's that balance between magic and the steampunk, the invention, the steampunk side of things. Right. The balance between order and entropy, and all the different sort of class stuff that's going on. So Victoriana, at its heart, it's the story about a world in revolution.
Yes.
Yeah, there's the big, all the Industrial Revolution stuff, and the old order giving way to the new order, and all of the conflicts and things that arise from that.
Intrigues and such. Yes.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Any final items that are maybe on the horizon you can talk about that maybe I'm not aware of?
Yeah, some of things. So we've got the Laundry, Charles Stross's Laundry series. Right. Second edition of that.
Yeah,
is,
I've shared all the news for that.
Yeah, fantastic. That's just great fun. Such a great set.
When are the physical books coming out?
So we are anticipating them, I think, towards the end of the year. It all depends really on when the ships actually get in.
Right.
And at that time of year, it's whether the books arrive in time to get them processed, turned around and out to everybody before the holiday season.
Yes.
So, but I think at the moment they're due to be in December, I think. But we'll keep everybody posted on the Kickstarter and on social media. So we've got that, and then we've got Champions of Chaos, which is a whole new way to play the Age of Sigmar role-playing game.
Right.
That is was such a fun playtest. Yeah, I was a Zangor shaman on a disc of Zinch, basically like flying around the place like some Chaos skateboard douche.
Hey, wait, now hold on. We got a lot of Chaos skateboard douches who watch this channel.
Absolutely.
My God.
More power to us. I say. But sometimes, when you are zooming around, just firing off the odd mischievous mutation spell, just to mess with people,
Sure,
you've got to
right.
take it on the chin.
Right.
It's you're not being the best person version of yourself you could be.
Well, you're
in
not going to
that
get the
moment.
most out of that game doing that. Not
Such
doing
good
that.
fun though. I think because it's all very different powers and different kind
sure.
of things that you're doing, and you're champions of chaos as well. So you've got a good power level, etc. So it was such fun. It was really good and something quite different.
And it's funny too because with the Age of Sigmar line that you guys have, I have a correspondent. She does all the reviews for it. And when I first asked her, I said, "Hey, would you take this on? Will you take this line on?" She's like, that doesn't. Yeah, it's Games Workshop property. I don't know. And then she read the book. She's like, "Oh my gosh!" She was so pleasantly surprised that
Right.
just how fun it was and how
Yeah.
heroic the characters and powerful the characters are. You're not
sort of big heroes out of the gate.
You're not going off down to the tavern's basement to kill giant rats to start your career.
No, it's it's a really satisfying power level, and the things that you do. I agree.
Right.
Really cool. So you got that, and then I'll leave you with, of course, the Horus Heresy.
Yes.
But that's we're working on that at the moment. Pre-order by the end of the year. We're working towards at the moment. And that one's going to be amazing. It's the foundation myth of Warhammer 40,000. Stories don't get bigger than the Horus Heresy.
Right.
Do they? You've got.
And that's where everything kind of builds off of too.
Yeah. But you've got the superhuman sort of demigod brothers turning on each other and their father, and it's really core kind of mythological.
It's very Disney-esque.
Yeah. Well. Via ancient Greece, I suppose.
Right.
It could be.
What is that going to use mechanically?
D10 dice pool, same as the old world.
Okay.
So it's a really accessible D10. Everything's on the character sheet, but it's got that breadth and the depth that makes it. You need to have a satisfying level of. I suppose it's interesting choices to make, isn't it? But then the rules need to have that granularity to be able to do everything that you want them to do. So
right.
We've got that. The system really, the characteristic tells you the number of dice you're rolling. Mm-hmm. Your skill level tells you what you need to roll under, equal to or under for a success.
Okay.
And then multiple successes get better. So everything's there on the character sheet. It's really
Very
easy
cool.
for people to get their heads around.
I actually haven't taken a peek at Old World yet.
Ah, fantastic. Well, you have a treat ahead of you.
Nice. Well, yeah, I'll be reviewing that. Dominic,
fantastic.
Thank you so much for taking some time out. I know you're like running off, wheeling and dealing, making and you took time out to talk with me.
I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Enjoy the show.
You too.
And the fun and excitement continues here at the Cubicle 7 Games exhibit area at Gen Con 2025, Day 3. And I've got the pleasure to talk to my buddy T.S. Luikart, who once in a while actually pops into chat on the live streams.
It's true, every once in a while.
And I never recognize the nickname, and I go, oh, I think this might be a first-time visitor, chat. You're like, no, it's T.S. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Well, it's a very 480K reference, so I'm not surprised you don't get it. So.
Very nice to see you, as always.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you said the Day 3, and I'm like, it doesn't feel like Day 3, it feels much longer.
Oh,
but it
yeah.
is Saturday.
I understand it. Well, you get in earlier than the show starts, too. So we're going to talk about some stuff that's currently out.
Yeah, okay.
Talk to Dom. We talked about what's on the horizon, what the future holds. But we're going to talk about some relatively, well, one's very recent, and the other is relatively recent.
Sure.
So let's talk a little bit about Warhammer Fantasy Old World.
Yeah, okay.
Is this designed for people our age and older? Is that why it's called Old World?
No, it's because it's a very old world. Though ironically, it's actually a younger world than the old world is in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay.
Right.
Because that's not confusing or anything. No, so the original timeline for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is what any old fans would say, well, that's the end times, or certainly troubled times, end times.
Right.
The time of Karl Franz, all this stuff, which the world that was from an Age of Sigmar point of view, the world they blew up.
Yes.
Well, when Games Workshop returned to the old world, they actually went approximately around 237 years earlier than that timeline.
I love how you said approximately 237. It could be 36, 38. I don't remember correctly.
I don't want to be too exact.
Right.
So, 26 years canonically before the Great War Against Chaos. So it is before all that. So the world itself, I wouldn't call it a positive place, but at least it's a place where hope kind of still exists.
Yes.
And people actually occasionally are decent, which really isn't a Wolfram thing. It's more a, this era Warhammer, the old world thing.
So rather than grimdark, it's bummed dark.
Yeah, actually it's funny, Dark and Perilous has been the one for ages.
Yeah.
It's actually Grim and Glorious is
that's wild.
is the tag for the old world RPG. So that one came out about a month and a half ago
in PDF.
Players in PDF, and it went extremely well. Even the old graybeards that hate change really thought it was fun. And we just put out the GM's guide in PDF on Thursday, so just a couple of days ago.
Yes, that's why you haven't seen news yet.
Yeah.
I've been here.
Yeah, so don't be on him. It just happened. And it's also gone over really well. The actual physical should drop first quarter next year. We're not 100% certain because you guys are all too aware, I think, these days. We know that shipping, tariffs, everything else is played with schedules, but we know it'll be first quarter next year. So It's just a question of
worst case scenario.
Yeah, as we get closer, we'll codify it and send out word, but it'll happen first quarter.
Okay.
So we're really excited about that. If you're like, well, what's the difference between Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay and the old world?
Will you stop showing off your psychic abilities to us? Because that is exactly
the next question.
Yes.
So Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is definitely a crunchy system. I'm certain anybody that's ever hit it, some of you have bounced off it and are like, wow, this percentile is too much math, or it's a lot of crunch.
I think it's the success levels that throw people.
Yeah, it's that, especially and when a negative becomes a positive because of the success levels.
Right.
If I had a 50 but rolled a 72, that's a -2, but if the other guy got a positive, it becomes a +3 for that guy. I can see why it throws people off.
Right.
You guys that love it are obviously used to it, but it throws off other people. So it was a great opportunity for us to introduce the old world to new folks, kind of at a ground level, without all the history of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. But also, if you're younger now, or older too, and you pick up Games Workshop's The Old World, and you say, oh, I love this, I would like to play the RPG, and we hand you Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, you are going to be confused.
Right,
you're like,
because mechanically they're night and day.
And also, the background-wise is completely different. You're
Yes,
like, wait a minute,
true.
Carl Franz, who's Carl Franz? There's nothing that they know. There is no emperor in the old world. There's in fact 4 claimants to the throne in a disunified empire.
Yes.
So everything is in flux, and it's a completely different timeline. There's 1 or 2 characters that are alive in both, but only because they're dwarf or an elf that happen to live to the other one. So most of the people are different. The players on the board are totally different. And chaos is different. In fact, one of the creepiest gods in Warhammer the Old World, Sigmar, is a fanatic and his followers are crazy. It's actually forbidden in, his worship's forbidden in Talabek land, where the game's starting setting is.
Nice.
So yeah, it's very odd to have people not yell Sigmar, that you get in trouble doing that kind of thing.
And it's because Dom and I talked a little bit about this, it's a D10 pool system.
Yeah.
And then
you're rolling a number
your
of
attribute, or was it skill?
You're running a number of D10, throwing a number of D10s equal to the attribute, and then the skills are under the attributes, and there's just 2 for each attribute. So you're trying to get that number or under. So you start with, you're usually throwing 3 or 4 dice, generally trying to hit 3s or 4s, 5s if it's something you're really good at. That's a starting character, is about there. Right. Not completely incompetent, but not overwhelming hero types to start.
Yeah. Unlike, like Age of Sigmar.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
you start off,
definitely, where you're
pretty
a
powerful.
demigod or exactly, extremely potent. This is definitely normal people swept up into an adventure they probably never asked for.
Right. That's how the rat catcher got involved.
Yeah, exactly. It also, the whole setup for this new one is a kind of the ancient Wolfram question. Why is this group of people together?
Right.
Why would this noble hang out with these gutter snipes? Well, in this case, we have our grim portents, and while they'll be varied by your game, there's a reason why you hang out, a horrible one.
Sure.
Basically, something is coming for you all. Doesn't care whether you live in the castle or the gutter, it will kill you all, and nobody else believes you. So suddenly you have these very different groups going like, we have to stand together because nobody else believes us.
Nice.
And
Well,
that's
I mean,
kind of the hook.
the whole nobody believes us is kind of a standard for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay releases.
Honestly, that pretty much is a catch through Call of Cthulhu.
Right.
There's many games that are like,
us.
nobody believes us, but
So
it's a nice hook.
Let's talk about an IP that's very close to your heart, and that is Imperium Maledictum.
Imperium Maledictum.
We'll have a 40K.
My chance to make things right that were wrong in Dark Heresy. So
He said that. I didn't say that.
I was one of the designers of Dark Heresy, so I can say that. So, Imperium Maledictum is really hitting its stride now. For those of you that are long been patiently awaiting, next month, September, we'll see the release of the Inquisitor's Guide, the Player's Guide, and the Inquisition GM's Guide. So for you, those of you completely new to Imperium Maledictum, it is a Warhammer 40,000 game where you pretty much play people that are literally from the Imperium, what the Imperium's like, far from battlefields. Mind you, many industries are supplying battlefields far afield, but you're normal people that were grabbed by a powerful patron from one of the factions that kind of control the Imperium, and they were like, you're working for us now, and you're expendable until you prove otherwise. So pretty much on the tin, you really are in trouble from day one. And the funny thing is, when you play the game, when you make it, everybody gets a say. The GM and the players get a collective say in their patron.
Right.
Who picked you. So as a player, you get a say in it, but you're still expendable. So whether you work for a total asshole that's like, screw you guys, I don't die, or if you do, I don't care, you can work for a nice guy, but the nice guy's like, man, I like you guys, I hope you all make it back, good luck.
Right.
It doesn't matter, you're still expendable. You
Of
just
course.
might get yelled at less.
Right.
So Imperial Maledictum.
You're not as expendable as, say, as a Paranoia clone.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're expendable.
You're definitely like, there's more where you came from, is definitely the thing.
You can be replaced.
Yeah, exactly. So the setting's the Macarian sector, that if you guys stretch way back lore, Lord Solar Macarius was one of the greatest unaugmented minds in Imperial history. He took 1,000 worlds in 7 years with his Great Crusade, which is just this crazy chunk that you could actually see when you look at the 40K map. Right. And he literally took the equivalent of 5 whole sectors. But this concentrates on what was called the gleaming jewel of his empire, which was the Macarian sector, the one named for him. So the great Secatrix Maledictum, if you guys know your present 40K, the huge great rift that ripped open the galaxy, something called the Noctis Eterna came from it. That was the darkness that came from out it, blocked worlds from each other, caused major problems. So the Macarian sector has just started to get out of it 5 years after the fact. So literally only 1 in 10 planets are paying their tithe. It's a really good time for people to need agents to get stuff done. Or if you're slightly more ruthless, need agents to set up grifts for you, depending on who you're working for and what you're doing. So it's a really good time to get out and see what the Imperium's made of and profit if you can, or survive at the best. So that is very much your normal people, basically. Your normal people trying to survive. If you survive long enough, you can eventually become, say, high-level ranger, badass, green beret equivalents. Yeah. You could become a badass, but you're never going to go further than that. You're just trying to survive.
You're never going to be a superhero.
Yeah, you're not meant to ever be anything like an Astartes or anything. You're just normal people trying to survive in the Imperium.
Right. You're minor bureaucrats.
Yeah, exactly. You literally can be, because one of your patrons can be the Adeptus Administratum. So literally you could be bureaucrats, auditors.
Isn't it 2 books that are like on a near horizon for it?
Yeah, well, the two Inquisition books just dropped next month. So that's the Player's Guide to the Inquisition and the GM's Guide to the Inquisition, which actually have a lovely slipcase with both of them too. Right. But then we have a book coming in October, right on their heels.
It's like the gear book.
Exactly.
Yeah, the equipment
book. That
book.
is the Imperium Requisition Guide. But here's people keep laughing. They're like, oh, it's an equipment book. It is, but it's the Departmentum Unitorum. So equipment includes 12-mile-long capital ship, because that's just a different form. Right. So it actually has spaceship combat in there and vehicles too.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Because that's equipment from the Departmentum Unitorum's point of view. It's just equipment, different form, same stuff.
Right.
They don't care.
And when is I know the PDF is out. When is the physical book hit?
The actual physical should drop September 17th for the various Inquisitors books, and I think it's like the 19th of October for the Requisition guide. It's something like that, mid-October book.
And there's an outlet that for some strange reason I think people are going to be able to see first look videos and review videos of.
There's a guy that does reviews and stuff for that kind of thing where you guys can see it. Gaming something. Portal.
The Gaming Geek, that's it.
That guy.
That's the guy.
At any rate, I'm certain this gentleman will let you guys see all of this as it starts drifting out.
Sweet. TS, any final thoughts you want to share with the audience?
I think it's going to be a fantastic year for you guys that are fans of the various Warhammer properties. Next year is going to be just as busy, if not more so. And all of you keep in mind that next year, making Jeff and I feel old, next year is the 40th anniversary of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. So certainly know that the back end of this year, we will have some announcements to make before the year is out that you will definitely hear about from the Gaming Gang and other outlets. But we'll have a lot to say before the year's
I don't
done.
get exclusives? No. TS, thank you very much. Always great
Always
to
a
talk with you.
pleasure.
And I'll see you floating around in chat, and I'll forget your nickname
Promptly
again.
forget.
Doesn't it start with a V?
Vaunus. That actually comes from the Eisenhorn books.
Oh, does it?
Vaunus was the epic rogue hero of Cataldinus's verse allegory, the once pure hive. The hero is Vaunus. It's a famous work.
You're taking the 40K a little too serious, TS.
famous work within the 40K. So.
Sweet.